the League of Women Voters are delighted to see you all here. I'd like to remind you at this time that this event, as well as our Speak Up and the publication of our Know Your Town directory, are all funded by our Education Fund, to which you're all invited to donate at any time if you'd like to. It's our sole source of revenue, and it's what keeps these voter service events going. I'm delighted to have in our audience Tom Nash, who has donated a portion of his newspaper next Thursday for the use of our voter's guide, and this is a wonderful, wonderful help for us. Questions? Thank you. He's incognito as boy photographer over here. Questions, please put them on cards. I think you've all twigged to that and are all set. We have 3 timers here from Weston High School, and thank you very much, ladies. We're delighted to have you. Margaret and Al Wurtenberg are here. They are filming this event, and they will forego all other pleasures until they've turned it around, ready to go on Channel 79 for your viewing pleasure. We'll probably put out the times in conjunction with the Weston Forum alerts. I hope you all have those. And also, well, any other way we can let you know when that will be shown. Chris Hedden is our sound man, and our moderator is the very capable Jean Rabineau from the LWV Connecticut offices. So without any more chatter, I'll turn it over to Jean, and away we go.
Thank you. All right, before I explain the rules of the road, as usual, we have a couple of requests. The first one, as you know from prior debates, is if you've got a cell phone or a pager, please turn it off now. If you can put the pager on vibrate, that's okay, but you'll be amazed at how well the sound of those things gets picked up on the tape. So please turn off the phones. I better check my own. All right. Okay. Yep. Yep, there it goes. Okay. We have a couple of other standard requests. One of them is that we ask you to hold your applause and indeed any of your reaction until the close of the debate so that the candidates can have the maximum amount of time to answer the questions. This being a civilized community, we are not going to take the draconian step of counting down seconds out of the candidate you're supporting and lowering his or her time to respond. It's been known to have to happen. The other thing is that the League has no problem with debates being shown in full on TV or on the web, and if a candidate or candidates wish to link to the entire debate, we don't have a problem with that. We do have a problem with segments of the debate being shown on the web in advertising anywhere out of context, because that tends to stifle the actual response and turn most of the debate into, 10-second sound bites, which is sort of not what we're looking for in League. If you see pieces of a debate being used for political gain by any side or any party, we ask you to notify the League office. The email is lwvct@lwvct.org. We're pretty serious about this. We realize that we don't have any really good ways of policing this in real time, but we'd like to know who's doing it if anyone is. We'd prefer not to see it happen. All right. That having been said, the rules of this afternoon's debate are pretty straightforward, just a little bit complex in the execution. The 2 candidates for first selectman are on stage, and they will each start with a 1-minute opening statement. We will then direct questions to the first selectman candidates for approximately 20 minutes. All right, and this includes audience questions as well as questions pre-submitted by the League. At that point, we will take a minuscule break, and the candidates for selectmen will come up and join the candidates for first selectmen, give their 1-minute openings, and then we will continue with the questions to all 4 candidates. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer each question. Because there are going to be so many people on stage at any given time, we are not going to be doing rebuttal, except each candidate will have one opportunity during the afternoon. If he or she feels that something has been said that absolutely needs rebuttal, that none of the other candidates have dealt with, we will give each candidate one opportunity to rebut at some time during the afternoon. I will mark the rebuttal with a big R by the candidate's name, and that will exclude him or her from then using rebuttal at any other time during the debate. But this does seem to be a fair way of dealing with any last-minute factual or other errors that may creep in. As you submit your questions for the candidates, please remember that we cannot and will not ask questions that can only be answered by one candidate. The whole point is to compare the answers that the 2 or 4 candidates are giving. So please make your questions addressable to all. Finally, you will notice that the candidates, that their timers will be holding up signs at various points in the debate. Each candidate will get a warning when there is 30 seconds left to go, 15 seconds left to go, and at time. And I will call time if it's needed. It may not be. There being no questions, I will announce that the candidates did draw for the order of their response, and by the luck of the draw, Mr. Gilbert will be going first with his opening statement, and Ms. Weinstein will be going second. Thank you.
Jean, thank you very much. I'd also like to thank the League of Women Voters for giving us the opportunity to come here today. I'd like to thank you as well to come out for such a beautiful day to give us your time. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic afternoon, because this is what good government's about. This is a fantastic hall. I spend a lot of time here. We start our Kiwanis projects from here. We go to Peter's Market and collect food for the food pantry. That food is distributed by Terry and Betsy, and their goal is to ensure that no one in Weston goes hungry. We also go to Don Egan's property. We split firewood. That firewood is sold and monies go to the warm-up fund. Don Egan assures that as that money is distributed as best they can, that no one in Weston in the wintertime goes cold. Those are extraordinary processes, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to be part of them, because what it demonstrates that our town actually takes the time to care for people, and it is a privilege to be part of that town, believe me.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this debate today, and Ms. Rabineau for agreeing to moderate. And I'd like to thank all of you for taking time to be here, especially given the fact that we finally have a nice day. On Thursday, I knocked on our 1,000th door. And there's one important thing that I learned after knocking on all those doors. A lot of you in this community have some really big, scary dogs. So we would just throw some treats out the window. We figured out a system, and of course it all worked, and it was all good. I really would just like to thank you for opening up your hearts and your homes to us, for sharing your ideas and your concerns that you have for the community. And I'd especially like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to serve as your selectman for the past 2 years. I'm not going to lie, it's been a lot of work. And it's certainly a job that had a learning curve to it. But now I feel, after having these 2 years, I have had a lot of opportunities to look at the town on a macro level, and I really feel that I'm well positioned to serve as your next first selectman. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to request the press photographer to not get between me and the timer signs. Thank you.